right, we seem to be having a trouble with the opening graphic, so here we are. I hope everyone's doing great. Welcome to episode 32 of Axanar Confidential. And let me turn off the sound from there. I just moved my setup upstairs, so what you see is the background is my office, which everyone can see here. You know, look, office. And then, well, forget the light, but you know, this is my office. This is where I hang out and get work done, and it's probably not as cool as JP's office. I don't know. Do you have a cool swag there, JP?
I got a little bit of swag. It's out of reach though. My microphone. Well, let's see. Oh, actually, no, it's right out of reach. Wait, hold on.
You don't have cool Axanar swag besides the
I have
hat.
a couple things. I have my Orville ship,
Ooh, very nice.
which actually plays the theme song when you hit the button on the bottom, but I won't because that's like a minute and a half, right there.
Okay.
That was sent to me by
I can remember the Orville.
3dtrekker.com. They were nice enough to send that to me.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
And I got some other stuff. I have Locutus of Borg, actually.
All right. Well, look, we'll take your word for it. What's that? Oh, oh, very cool, very cool. Well, welcome to Friday Night Axanar Confidential. It's great having you here. Let me see if I can figure out what I got a reverb going on in my head. Okay, I think that's better. So this is 2 weeks since the first Axanar shoot. And JP, thanks for coming. JP was there the whole weekend, live streaming the whole weekend. Hopefully you saw a bunch of the stuff that he did. He did some awesome live streaming, and we had a blast. It was a great time. And oh, okay, that's my fault. Okay, that's probably my fault as I'm trying to figure how that should be okay now. Everyone should be able to hear.
Hey, everybody. Hey, testing,
Yeah.
Testing.
I lowered the volume accidentally on your signal. So
The Orville. There you go.
and so anyway, are you recovered, JP? Have you come back to Earth and rested?
I
and
am
relaxed?
recovered. I got up in the air on that Monday, the 7th, landed back in my hometown, and I hit the ground running. Well, actually, I went and saw the Joker movie. And then
nice.
after the Joker movie, then I hit the ground running, and that movie was amazing, absolutely
really?
amazing. It's not a movie; it's a film. It's a film. It's not a
That's
movie.
interesting. It's gotten mixed reviews, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, you'll see it. I think you'll dig it.
As I put on my now, you notice that our hats have curved brims, as opposed to the Team Axanar hat, which had a flat brim. And Crystal was wearing hers yesterday. I just wanted to reach over and bend it, and she's like, no. I couldn't, and I couldn't remove the sticker either. Like the
Wow.
snapbacks, you have to leave the sticker on. I'm like kids these days. What do you
I don't even know what that's about.
God, I don't know.
Remember, that's like when leaving the price tag on.
Hey, yeah, I guess I dig out long. $9.99 super chat. First Blood. He calls First Blood. You get it, my friend. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us. This is great. Whoa, 97. We're up to 97 people. Now, I gotta say, and I'm gonna be upfront with you, I'd hope to have the new trailer out tonight, but Bing Bailey, our producer, DIT, colorist, all around great guy. He's been working all week, and he's a network engineer. He just like banks and stuff, big stuff, right? And he's brilliant guy. And typically what he's done in the past is he works for a year, banks all the money because he makes very good money, and then makes a film. Anyway, they called him and everything crashed at work. So this week he was going to make the trailer, and he was like, "Oh, I'll have it ready." Blah blah blah. And he's been pulling all-nighters. He's been getting home at 7 a.m. and he feels so bad. And so we were talking tonight, and he's like, I'm going to get home. And I was like, relax, my friend. Relax. I said, can you get it done by tomorrow? Can you get me something rough in the morning? He's like, yeah. I said, fine. We'll do a world premiere Saturday night. So, everyone, the world premiere of the Axanar teaser trailer tomorrow night. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I know that he's gonna have it ready. So and hopefully we'll have Bing on tomorrow for the world premiere. So that's it. And you're seeing some of the images now. We got some great stuff going on. I mean, it was amazing, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely incredible. None of the pictures that you've shown and pictures that I've taken and I put up on social media as well, none of them show an inkling of what is in store. The pictures are just nice pictures that we took, and they look as amazing as they can be. But what I saw on the screens, on the dailies at the studio during the filming, blew me away, and I was like, I cannot wait for people to see that, because it is it's cinematic, and as the kids say nowadays, it's cinematic AF. It is absolutely going to blow people's minds. If you're a fan of Star Trek,
American film,
no,
cinematic,
as
aardvark
F
farts.
yeah, there you go. At aardvark farts. It's alliterative.
Hey, so where did you get that incredibly cool hat there, sir?
Yeah, I believe this is the Hercules hat.
That is the Hercules hat.
Yeah, I didn't look to see which one. I have the Hercules hat, I have the Ajax hat, I have the Ares hat, and I have the Team Axanar hat. And I have, well, that's the Ares hat that you got on.
I got the Ares hat. And even though I think this hat can be better. I gave him a Navy hat and said like this without the patch, but the Navy hats are all embroidered patches that are then put on hats. We wanted it embroidered right on, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yours is the patch. So yours
Mine's
is
the patch.
Hercules patch, and it's a smaller size patch than the ones that donors have gotten, and that's put right on the patch. And that is, of course, Sam Travis's shit. And that's great. We're going to give you here's a little tidbit about Sam Travis, which you may or may not see this. You'll see it in the stills, but he doesn't have the shoes on, the boots on that the rest of the crew has, the rest of the male crew has. We all have like standard black Deep Space Nine style boots, right? His foot is so wide, he literally couldn't fit in the wide version. I got him a 12 wide. It wasn't wide enough. So I think it was Steven Shuey lent him his boots, which were kind of like cowboy boots. Not really, but like cowboy inspired boots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And JG checked his pants into the boots, and I was like, well, wait, that's not the way Starfleet. And then I was like, wait a second, this is Sam Travis. He's pretty cowboy. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Absolutely. And so can JG.
And I said that. I said, we were just about to correct him, and Paul was there, and I was like, hey, Paul, why don't we just leave it? And Paul and I were like, yes, leave it. He's Sam. He does whatever the hell he wants to do. The hell with the regulations. So that was a cool little bit, a cool little tidbit. 113 viewers right now. Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate all of you coming out. Fred, I cannot tell you about Cape Vernon right now, but we did have a very cool photo on the bridge from 2 weeks ago. Raylan Martin says, I hope one day XR can do a full-length movie. You guys blow CBS out of the water. Thank you. Listen, it really isn't, and JP, you can chime in here. It really isn't about us versus CBS. Right, that's
correct.
I just don't, and everyone wants to position it that way, and I'm like, we are Star Trek fans.
Well, somebody back there thinks that it's CBS's fault.
I guess so. Sorry guys, it's my cute little dogs have their little bed behind us. I guess they heard something. Guys, we're on a live stream right now. You can't talk. Oh, I think they're going to get walked. I think Diane, our dog sitter, is Diane Green, who's one of our volunteers at Axanar. I think she's coming upstairs to take the dogs for a walk. Sorry, guys. We're big dog people here. Anyway, where was I? Oh, it's not us. Listen, it's not us versus Discovery. It's CBS, right? It's Star Trek's the multiverse, and we're making these 2 episodes in Axanar, and then hopefully next July they'll be out. We'll be out of CBS's hair, right? They don't have to worry about us anymore. We're not here, and we're not here to show them up. We're not here. They have gazillion-dollar budgets. We don't. They make great Star Trek. It's different than what we grew up on, but it's good stuff. And listen, you and I both have problems with Discovery. I got problems with lots of shows, but I still watch it. So there you go. What are your thoughts, JP?
Well, when it comes to CBS, I go after CBS very hard critically, but most of it's on the fun side. I try to do things in a fun way, but I agree with you. They're not the enemy. I do think of them more as a hurdle, an obstacle that you have to get around or get over to win the race. They're not. That's the best I could put it for them. I don't hate them. But I'm very critical of the way they handle things. But really, I don't give them that much of a thought otherwise. Really, it comes down to what is being turned out, not necessarily with them, but also with the fans. If the fans are putting out this content that they love, that's all that really matters. Hopefully someday we'll get back to some Star Trek that more people enjoy. I think Picard is going to do that. So far, I'm very excited for Picard.
Yeah, so am I.
And but also the rules that CBS put down on fan films, to hell with them. You can put out an amazing Star Trek fan film as expensive as you want it, as long as you want it. It doesn't have to be official Star Trek to hold up to what Gene Roddenberry set out to do. You can do a Gene Roddenberry style sci-fi that is not necessarily called Star Trek.
There's something out there like that, isn't there?
Oh, there is a little show, and I wasn't even leading to that.
See, you were subconsciously you were leading.
I guess so. The Orville has started off as doing that. They started off as using that Gene Roddenberry. They wanted to bring that back because they thought that people wanted that style of sci-fi show. They used that as a springboard to create their own show that very much started off as an homage to Star Trek and is now very much its own thing. Is still, even though it's gone off in doing its own thing, still upholds Gene Roddenberry's vision.
Yeah, listen, it was funny. I was talking, or I was on Twitter, and some stuff from the director of the Orville. I guess he's directed that. Maybe it was the season 3 premiere or something. I forget his name.
John Cassar.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's directed a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
he's one of the executive producers as well.
And so I tweeted him back and I said, "We love the Orville from your friends at the other great Star Trek fan film, Axanar."
There you go.
But listen, and it's so funny because I just before I came on, there was some hater bullshit and that some of the guys were talking about, and I'm like, dude, don't care. We're here for the love, It's the love of Star Trek. That's what it's all about, and it's the love for science fiction, and I mean, this is what I love about the Orville. Put aside the show and the characters and the writing is good and Seth and put all that aside. I love the fact that it pays homage to Gene Roddenberry's Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and a lot of other great things. Like with the pilot episode when I first watched it, I'm like, oh, this is giving me a lot of the Trekkie stuff that I've been missing and very much craving. And then the second episode came along, and it paid a huge tribute to the Twilight Zone, and that's when I was like, because one of the things I always loved about Star Trek is when they would do those weird kind of what-if episodes that were kind of like a Twilight Zone type episode, but it was in Star Trek. The Orville did that by its second episode, and then boom, right there I go, okay, this is my new favorite show. Because it's paying tribute to a lot of different styles of sci-fi, which it definitely does as the series progresses as well.
All right, I got to give some shout-outs. Dave G. Sound has Second Blood after Adega Outlaw launched his first strike. And then we got Michael Weir, as always. who says, "You want blood? I will bathe the stairways in blood." And he's got so thanks, Michael. He's our always super fan, Michael Weir, who unfortunately couldn't get out of his job and get out here. He is an insurance adjuster for FEMA. He's big time, and so he was taking care of people, which is, God bless him. I do want to make a mention. I'm going to post a blog about it, but we are very happy to have our second Axanar dog rescue foster puppy, Mojo, who many of you know, is being adopted by Shane Freud, one of our donors in Seattle. And Mojo is amazing. And I'll try and find a photo to post right here. But he is an amazing dog, and we're all in love with him. We're like, it was the first 3 foster dogs. We had good homes. Some of them are nears. Stogie's got one. It's been great. This one, Mojo, we are all in love with. And the other day was his last visit to our vet, and they all love him there. And it was like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose. They were all like, oh my God, we love Mojo so much. So anyway, I just have to mention, we always have to mention dog rescue here because we are all big dog rescue people. So real thanks to Shane Freud, who he's going to be giving Mojo a great home. And he is so excited. When Shane came in for the shoot, he spent afternoons here. They bonded instantly, so that makes me feel good. And I know Shane's a good man. He's a vet, and just I'm really excited. And Seattle, I have got friends in Seattle, and the Mopop is there, the Museum of Pop Culture. So there's always reasons to go there. So we're real excited about Mojo. I'll try and get a photo up here. So anyway, 127. Whoa, hey, thank you, everyone. Just again, if you're new or you just came on, we are going to have a world premiere event of the trailer tomorrow night. Sorry, couldn't get it ready in time. Remember, everyone is a volunteer, and I was up at 6 a.m. this morning working, and everything I did today was Axanar related or try and ship out stuff from the Trixeter auction. That, it's all related one way or another to making money and making sure Axanar happens. So speaking of which, we have a lot of these left over. Axanar Crew t-shirts, right? Axanar, nice. Axanar Crew. So we got a lot. Small, medium, large, extra large. Sorry, 2XLs are gone. I know. I learned my lesson. More 2XLs. I was warned. Star Trek fans tend big, but did I listen? No. I wanted to take care of the girls. Anyway, small, medium, large, extra large. A crew t-shirt. And there you go. What else? Do we have the extra passes? We may have some extra passes. What else do we have? Oh, so if you want a t-shirt, $25 post-paid. $25 post-paid. It's donate. Let's see. What is it again? It's donate at axanarproductions.com. Donate at axanarproductions.com for an Axanar Crew t-shirt. And $5 more, you get one of these fancy lanyards. You have one of these, JP, don't you?
I do. It's in the other room.
Axanar lanyard. Whoa.
Mine came with a patch, though.
Yeah, well, those are only for the crew. And
yeah, I know.
Show you those. Show you. Oh, yeah. See that Axanar patch? That is a crew patch. Alexander Richardson designed it, and he insisted it only go to crew. So we made 500, and there it is amazing. It is amazing, right? This is just for the crew, so you can't buy it or anything. So there you go. So t-shirts, crew t-shirts, $25 post-paid anywhere in the continental United States. If you're overseas, it's going to be more. If you want a lanyard, $5, throw it in. We got to get rid of all those. And then, and the other big thing, as you see right here, the USS Hercules registration plaques. So yes, very cool. Those are available if you're on the Patreon, because that's an Aries Studio thing. Okay, so go to Patreon/Aries Studios. Just a reminder that Aries Studios is a separate corporation from Axanar Productions. Axanar Productions is the production company making Axanar. Aries Studios is a soundstage that rents its studio to other fan films and gives it away free to high school students to make their films on. And so you can get the dedication plaques, since they are part of the bridge set from Aries Studios. You can't get it from us. And it was like, well, you're one and the same. That's not how corporations work. Remember what Mitt Romney said: corporations are people too.
That's just gonna say that.
I beat great minds think alike, Jay.
There you go. What,
Alike.
us and Mitt Romney?
Not sure I go that far. I kid. Listen, we don't talk politics on Axanar. That's kind of one of our rules. There's no politics in Axanar because we are inclusive, right? Star Trek is about inclusion, and there are people who feel very strongly all over the political spectrum, and we don't ever want to minimize their feelings because of something we feel. All I ask is that if we do discuss it in some other venue, that we are civil to each other, right? Because civility is a dying art, it seems, in this country. So yeah. All right, what else we got? Listen, 130 people watching. Thank you so much. Let me take a couple comments here. Val Eccleston Angel. Val, we're hoping your recovery. Val had a heart attack. We're hoping she feels better. I know she's at home recovering. Yeah, and Val is now an Axanar Patreon. Thank you so much. Let's see. I have a red crew shirt. Yeah, I have a red crew. Also, the other thing is which I posted about a video. The tunics have come in. The Aries tunics for donors have arrived, and I am getting trim and I'm getting patches. And as soon as I have that, we're going to start shipping those. We'll be sending out information to all the donors. There were like 100 donors that donated $400, I think it was, for an Aries tunic. So you will get one. It'll look like that. It'll have a single stripe. It'll have a patch based on the color. So working through that. So there you go. Just a little bookkeeping there. And what else? So tell me, JP, what was your favorite part besides the lunches, which were amazing? Wasn't that food great?
Absolutely great. So good. It was a high. The whole time was a high point, but a little extra, whipped cream on top with those lunches. Absolutely. But my favorite part, as far as like production goes, besides just being there and being around all these people and seeing such a high quality production going on with these volunteers and these fans, it was exactly the same as any Hollywood set I've ever been on. But for some reason, I just really loved it when Tanaka was getting his bridge interview, his character interview. I was just there. I was like, I really felt like I was, because kind of the format of it is that these people, it's documentary style, so these characters are being interviewed about something that happened, and this is all taking place in the future. For some reason, I just felt like I was really at a futuristic documentary production when I was watching that going on. So for some reason, that just sits with me the most. But there was a lot more than that going on, of course.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. I unfortunately, I just saw like a bit of the Tanaka interview.
Yeah, you were off busy somewhere else.
So
because you had a lot going on, but I was just happened to walk in there when that was going on, and there's a ton of people in there, and I just kind of forgot what I was doing and was just watching it and felt like I was, in the 23rd century? Yeah, the 23rd century, and I just felt like I was there watching a documentary crew in the 23rd century do a documentary. It was really great.
Yeah, I listen, and they mixed up the venues for where the interviews were being done. Right, we had one in at quarters, we had one on the bridge, we had one on the bridge as engineering.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they mixed it up a lot. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah, they were able to do a few little changes with the lighting and a couple of props, and all of a sudden, the angle that they were shooting on the bridge, all of a sudden was engineering.
Yeah,
And everyone that was kind of confused at first. Once they saw it, they're like, "Oh, brilliant!" People were really like, once everybody realized what was going on, and there was a huge wave that went across, people in the room going, "Oh, cool!" So I can't wait to see what that looks like when we get the final production going on.
yeah. No, I think the laying off shoot. I walked in and I looked at the monitor and I went, "They're shooting on the bridge because that doesn't look anything like the bridge."
Yeah.
It was really impressive the job they did. So yeah,
Well, they had that light. They had way off to this, off camera. They had this weird light that was kind of like pulsating, and I'm like, "What the hell is that for?"
right.
And then I realized, oh, that's probably the warp core.
Oh, huh. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, it's probably the
I didn't
warp
get a good
core.
enough look at it.
Well, if you just looked at it, it would just look like a light. But when it's on camera and you just see that light kind of just like maybe pulsating a little bit behind the actor's head or on the wall, you as a Star Trek fan will know what it is
Right,
without seeing it.
right. That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know if they thought that far ahead. That's
They
interesting.
did something because I was like, wow, look at that.
Yeah,
It was the only time I saw them use that light was when they were uh, supposed to be in engineering.
yeah, yep. Well, it was great. It was a great time, and needless to say, we cannot wait to see the trailer. Like, come on, where's the trailer? So all of you have shown up tonight to see the trailer. 156 of you. Please come tomorrow night. We're going to do same time. I'll have Bing Bailey on, who is our producer, DIT colorist, assistant editor, just all around amazing human being. And it was interesting. I was talking to Bing today, and I was talking to Mark Edward Lewis today, who is our editor, who was the sound designer on Prelude. And we were talking about one of the other people on the production, Adam Howard, who was on Prelude as well. And I said, three guys from Prelude. If I talk about the three guys who are most involved outside of the director and editor in post production, these three guys are pros, and this is why I'm so happy to have them back. I feel like I've got back the guys from Prelude who were the real pros, right? I mean, because we had amateurs, we had semi-pros, we had pros, and Bing, Mark Edward Lewis, Adam Howard. These are guys who work in the industry. They're not just Star Trek fans, and they weren't just on Prelude, for shits and giggles. They love it so much, but they're pros. And the thing I found, one of the big lessons from the past 5 years, 6 years that we've been doing this, is there's a difference between someone claims to be a professional and someone who is a professional. I'm clearly not a professional YouTuber, but pros deliver. I think that's one of my big takeaways. A pro delivers. He doesn't make excuses. He doesn't miss deadlines. He doesn't take your money and then not do what he says he's going to do,
Or she.
or she. I say he. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pro delivers, and so I've got guys back in Adam, in Mark, in Bing, who they deliver. I don't have to worry. And now new guys like Paul Jenkins. These are people who make their living doing this, and I think that's the big thing. They make their living doing this. Mark Edward Lewis has his own company, Cinema Sound, so he's not a professional editor, but he's in the industry and is a professional doing something else. And I just think that's so important because I've just learned how, I mean, we've been let down by a lot of people. And sometimes that's the nature of volunteerism, right? Mm-hmm. You can't always expect it. But I've really come to respect and admire those people who actually do what they say they're going to do. Excuse me.
Absolutely, as we should. Well, as we should. I mean, just in life in general, nothing to do with this here. Most, as humans, we will mostly not do what we're going to say. So it's nice to come, to work with those people that do exactly what they say they're going to do, and they deliver upon it.
Yeah, I think so. By the way, I'm going to mention there's a great new video. It's one of our early trailers to Prelude to Axanar. It's on our homepage, so please go check it out. It's got, in less than a week, it's got 50,000 views. Stogie found it. It's so funny. I gave Stogie access to all this old video footage, and he's going through it and finding stuff, and he's just was so excited to find this one piece. So please, if you haven't seen it, make sure you do, because Stogie put a lot of work. So someone says, can you imagine a Kittimer fan film mockumentary like Prelude? I certainly can. What else? Saw the interview with Richard. He had such a great and unique take on the Klingons. Yes, we agree. Alec, Karen Shui says that she will sew the ranks and patches on the outfits if you can wait until she gets there for interlude. Bam! Karen Shui is an all-star. Oh my God. So let's, I think I told you guys, but Karen Shui is the mom of Stephen Shui, one of our fans. And Stephen was a volunteer, came up to work, and he said, can I bring my mom? And at first I'm like, bring your mom. Oh, okay. And he's like, well, she's a seamstress. Oh, okay. And I swear, she got there and just went to work in the costume department and was like a rock. Your hat. She put your hat together. She ironed the patch on your hat. So
thank you. So
yes, Karen, we'll figure that out. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. So there you go. I want to watch Professor Carlos Alberto Loyola de Souza. Wow, that's a great name. Maybe we need to name a crew member after Carlos here. I want to watch Axanar here in Brazil, and I hope you can. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think we have subtitles in Portuguese. I would be surprised if we didn't. Starweaver says, hey, Alec, JP, anybody at Axanar, where do I send my idea for a sci-fi show to? Don't send it to us because we're too busy. Listen, why don't you try and make it yourself, right? Try and make a pilot.
Get a proof of concept going, and then maybe one of the other places will pick it up. I've been thinking about this a lot. It seems like, because everything's going streaming, we know that most of it is streaming already, but there's more streaming coming. Peacock, NBC's is coming up, Disney Plus is coming up. It seems to me like all of these up and coming streaming services are using sci-fi to promote their fledgling streaming service. NBC will be doing the sequel to Battlestar Galactica for their Peacock streaming service. Of course, Disney Plus will be doing The Mandalorian, Star Wars. CBS did Star Trek. I don't count Netflix stuff or Hulu stuff because they have their own really great original sci-fi stuff that they have, but they're not really using it to lift up their new service because they've been around for so long. But it seems like all these services are doing some sort of they're tapping into sci-fi audiences to get people to come over. So maybe one of these new services will pick up your idea if you do a proof of concept.
There you go. I mean, that's true. There's a lot of people who are doing films, and they're doing on small budgets, $50,000, and let's put it this way. Hollywood has been going down to San Diego Comic-Con for years and looking at the artist alley and looking at the the small publishers, a small press, and been finding ideas and buying those ideas because it's in a graphic novel. It's a story. They're like, oh, you've already told the story. Let me see if I like it. Well, you can do that on $50,000 for a pilot. It's the same thing. So I'm with you. I'm with you, JP.
Well, I could tell you from my experience when it comes to Hollywood, when it comes to like even when I was auditioning all the time, they don't want people to show up and play the part. They don't just want people to show up and play the part well, nor is it that they even have to play the part well. They want you to show up and look like you could play the part well. That's how people get cast, by looking the part when they show up, not just by giving a great reading. They don't want to think too far. They kind of want you to kind of do the work for them. So if you're able to show them something, not necessarily just give them some words to read, because their imaginations aren't necessarily always working over there. They want you to make their imaginations work for them. So if you're able to show them storyboards or a graphic novel or some pictures or a small film of one of the scenes, something like that, you have a much bigger chance of cutting through all the riffraff of all the other people that are trying to do the same thing that didn't think to go to that next step. And show them, show, don't tell, basically, is the concept that I'm talking about there. That's what they want.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Always show, don't tell. That's like one of the basics. Yeah, there's certain unwritten rules in Hollywood, you know.
And they're unwritten because they don't like to read.
Well, I will say, here's a couple things. One, if you leave a production, don't badmouth it. It's such, and you know who told me that? Robert Meyer Burnett. So maybe, Rob, you need to take your own advice. The other, another unwritten rule in Hollywood is like you say, it's show, don't tell. Exposition can kill a film, right? And
It
blah,
often
blah,
does.
blah, blah. Just do it, show it. That's why something like the titles in Watchmen were so brilliant, right? They showed over the course of this, was a Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, they give you a montage of kind of the history of what was going on. I'm interested to see this Sunday, I believe, the new HBO Watchmen series premieres this Sunday, I believe.
Know. Yeah.
And I'm extra invested in that because not only as a viewer but as a person who reviews things. It takes place in Tulsa. I live in Tulsa, so I might have a nice little insight to what they're trying to show in the series, which, Tulsa might end up looking a lot like Toronto, but we'll have to wait and see.
It takes place in Tulsa?
Yeah, it's supposed to take place in Tulsa, the whole show.
The whole show?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow. Right.
You're not excited about that. Well, it takes place in Atlanta then. How's that sound? Not much better.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta's a great place. I mean, everyone knows I love Atlanta. Dalek 2150, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Klingons, Daleks are the aliens you need to fear. Is it really? That's Daleks? I don't know. Daleks never, I don't know. I like Doctor Who, but never really was worried about Daleks.
Exterminate.
Yeah. 7R of No Fixed Address says the times they are changing. Yes, that's the Bob Dylan song.
Boom, there you go.
All right. Networks. Kelly Rhodes says network and studios have no imagination. You literally, and I lost it. You literally paint them a picture. Yeah, it's true.
That's it.
Yeah, Khan Noonien Singh is a Sikh. Yes, he is. Absolutely, just like our Commodore Singh. No relation. This is something because Raj told me that like half of all Sikhs either have a middle or last name of Singh. Did you know this? I did not know this.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Interesting. I did not. Shane Freud soon-to-be father of Mojo, says everywhere in Atlanta looks like everywhere looks like Toronto or Atlanta. Yeah, it's just like every
especially on the CW.
Yeah, it's just like every planet Stargate Command ever visited looked like the British Columbia. What are you gonna do? Eccleston Angel says Alec is living proof you don't need millions of dollars to make a great movie. Val, thank you so much. But let's just say the Axanar crew are living proof, because it ain't about me. It's not Alec. It's this amazing team we have that we've been able to have over all these years. So thank you very much. Stogie, would it violate the agreement to edit the unused footage of Return into Prelude? That's a good question, and I don't have an answer for it off the top of my head. Yeah. So, and I'm just, you think that's hysterical. Some hater said, well, what's the real reason you didn't practice law? Because there's many, and I know I graduated from law school, I passed the bar, I got sworn in, and I never practiced. You know why? Because I didn't want to be a freaking lawyer. I wanted to have some fun in life. And so I left and I got a job coaching men's volleyball. I've been coaching for about 6 years at that point. And I got the job as assistant men's volleyball coach at USC. Won a national championship in 1990, finished second in 91. So I traveled with the U.S. national team, coached at 2 world championships. Hey, life was good. I was making practical no money, and it was the best 4 years of my life. So to the dumbass who made that comment, yeah, I'll tell you exactly why I left. I'd never practiced law, because I had better things to do, none of which I've ever regretted. But I don't expect everyone to understand that. 173 watching now. Thank you very much. But we only have 32 thumbs up. What kind of nonsense is that? Everyone who's watching right now, hit that thumbs up button. Come on,
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Hit it up.
I'll start it off.
Let me see that number go up. And also, once again, if you want the leftovers from the shoot, if you want the Axanar Crew T-shirt, it says Crew, Axanar Crew, $25 post-paid. We've got like 50 left. I literally ordered 144 because it was like $5 a piece, but we only sold, we didn't sell that many, but we made back our money. So everything we get from these is going right back into Axanar. So thank you very much, everyone. Listen, everyone who in any way, shape, or form has donated to Axanar, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And please, everyone, right now, if you are a donor, if you are not a donor, if you...
it's not a donut.
I'm not a donut. I'm not a donut. What did he say? And we're big Arnold Schwarzenegger fans, just to be good. Okay, everyone should go log in to Ares Digital. Go in if you are not, if you haven't logged in yet. You need to log in and update your address. That's really, really important. And if you're not, join our email list. Please join our email list. So let's see what else. Ava Gentry says Alec is my Garth of Izar. That's Ava. Aww. That is so sweet of you, isn't that? That's really nice. Oh, Ava, send me your email and I will send you, or send me your address. Send me your real address. Just send it to my email address, which I'm going to type in right here, and I will send you a patch. How's that? As a way of saying thank you for that very nice sentiment there. So Stogie and Lee made changes to the website. If you do go to Axanar Productions, Axanar.com, I have to tell once again the great story about how we got Axanar.com.net.org. I didn't even know they were up. We've been using Axanar Productions because someone else had Axanar, and then the geniuses over at the hater group, the Axanar hater group. Yes, there's a group of people that hate me and hate on Axanar. They were like, hey, one of them found out Axanar was up, Axanar.com was up, and they were like, hey, we all need to get together and buy it, and then we can libel Alec on Axanar.com. Genius plan, buddy. And so I was like, oh, someone told me hey, the haters are planning to buy Axanar.com and libel you. And I was like, really? I didn't even know Axanar.com was up. So thank you for telling me, haters. And I forgot how much I paid for it. I think I paid for like $400 for it, for the URL. And I was ready to go for like $2,000. I was like, we have to have Axanar.com. So anyway, thanks to the haters, I was able to get it for $400. But Shane Freud says, bring on Mojo. Oh, yes, we have to listen. Did you meet? Oh, you met Mojo.
Oh, I'm very good friends with Mojo.
What did you think? Tell us the truth.
Mojo is a bundle of cute energy. I will say with Mojo though, if you have Uggs, keep them out of Mojo's way. Mojo likes to take a Ugg with when he can. But yeah,
look,
cute.
It's not
likes
just Uggs. I got news for you. It's any shoe.
Any
my
shoe.
shoes. I mean, you were lucky you had Uggs. I have shoes with laces on them.
Well, I didn't have
all
Uggs.
need new laces. He chewed every single lace off every single shoe. Tennis shoes basically that I have.
But he'll do that, and then he'll run up and give you a big old kiss, so then you can't be mad at him.
I can't be mad at that dog, even when he like poops inside. I'm like, all right, dude, look, you can't do this. I'm talking to him like an adult. Like, look, Mojo, you can't poop here. I'm gonna have to put you in timeout right now. And so it's the cooler. For those fans of The Great Escape, it's to the cooler. You remember that? You remember The Great Escape? Steve McQueen goes to the cooler. Every time he tries to escape, they send him to the cooler. To the cooler. So let's see if I have the. There's Mojo. Okay, let's put it. You are all sick of seeing the pictures from the set now. So let's add. How about if I add? I'm going to add a Mojo picture. How's that? Let's change that. Mojo. Let's add this photo, and it's on the desktop under Mojo. Okay, here we go. Here's Mojo. There is Mojo. That is just the freaking cutest.
There's Mojo.
Isn't he just? Oh, we love him so much.
He looks really big there, just because of he's closer to the camera. But he's actually, still he's actually a little smaller than that. He just looks a little bit bigger. I mean, he's gonna be a lot bigger.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's just a puppy.
Yeah. He is. Yes, he is. Let me shrink that down a little so it fits here, and that is Diane Green, who's one of our volunteers at Axanar, who is our dog sitter, and she loves him. I mean, we're all like, she's like, I'm not coming Sunday because Sunday we take him to the airport, right? She's like, I'm not gonna be here Sunday. I'm gonna say goodbye tonight. And I'm like, Crystal, you better come to the airport with me because I'm gonna need some emotional support when we lose him. But he's going to Shane. So Shane, you should feel. Shane is a great guy, a veteran, and I'm so happy. He's like, I can't wait for Sunday when he flies to Seattle. Yes, you're going to be very, very happy. Yes, Adega says, Mojo, bane of all shoe life throughout the universe. No. Shit, Sherlock. I guess I can get away with that. It's my own channel. But yeah, well, you met all of our dogs. I'm sorry, we're going to regress into dog talk here.
Dog talk with Alec and JP. Yeah, I did. I was all about Pee-wee.
Right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Little Chihuahua.
A little Chihuahua.
Who's chilled out.
He's the most chilled Chihuahua ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like
real tiny.
He's 6.5 pounds and 7 pounds. I call him 7 pounds of muscle. And Everyone at the vet's office loves him. And Trey loves him. Trey, you there? Axanar Comics.
Yeah.
Because there he is. Trey was sleeping in Pee Wee's room, right? And did we? I kind of lost. I'm gonna make sure everything's okay with the feed here because I lost it for a second. Is it still going? Okay, it's still going. So yeah, and Trey was sleeping on the inflatable air mattress in Pee Wee's room, and Pee Wee was just like claimed it. He was like, "This is my air mattress. You can share my bed, but it's my air mattress." So it's still in there, and it's all deflated, and he still climbs up on it. But yeah, who thought? I mean, if you had told me 2 years ago I would have a Chihuahua, I would have been like, "Oh, bullshit! Give me a."
He's
Siberian.
cute though. I was never much of a Chihuahua person either, but he's a pretty cute little Chihuahua and chilled out, which is very, very important. A chilled out Chihuahua.
He is literally sat on Diane's lap all day today. That was it. Just sat on it. That's what he wants to do. He wants to sit on your lap. He is a very chill Chihuahua. So, listen, we want to continue to anyone have questions here. Please chime in. Mr. Miles, chief engineer, says, I didn't think Chihuahuas were capable of being mellow.
That's the only one.
Yeah, well, there's at least one. Trey says Pee Wee was awesome. Korean zombies. Dale Simpson says, Pee Wee is my boy. Pee Wee es el guapo. That's Dale Simpson, our director of security. When Dale comes over, Pee Wee goes nuts. He's just kissing him and he's crazy. It's great. Craig Severi says, thank you, Alec, for bringing us. Axanar, in my opinion, is the only Star Trek out there. Amazing production values. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate that, Craig. Axanar, Pee Wee is so chill, though. Let's see. Troy Light. Hey, Troy. How you doing? Troy, our friend who moved from Maryland to Ohio. I think he's in Toledo. It says, you should see a lab mix when we come home from work every night because Troy just adopted a rescue. Always rescues. Always go to the shelter. Always get from a rescue. Do not buy dogs, puppies. Do not go to puppy mills or pet land, which just always go to a rescue or go to your local shelter. Trey said, dude, Pee Wee literally laid with me until I fell asleep every night. He is so badass. He is. Well, you're going to be seeing him again when you come in for the interlude shoot. Smoky Mirrors. What's the top warp speed of a Mark 7 Chihuahua in fluidic space? I don't know. Smoky Mirrors. What is the top speed of a Mark 7 Chihuahua in fluidic space? He's probably going to say Andorian or Tellarite. Nigel Mayo says the settlement doesn't allow actors from Star Trek. What about the Orville or Seth Trek? From the Orville, the Orville is Seth Trek. No restrictions there. What else? I've gained enough strength. Oh, Val, I just gained enough strength that I can carry Mac down to sleep with me again. We're both very happy now. Yeah, listen, if you're a dog person, yeah, you get it. You get it. There's something about that unconditional love. What do you have cats, don't you, JP?
I have a cat. That's all I have room for is one cat, and she is amazing. She's everything you think that a cat is supposed to be. She does all those things, and but she has a lot of hair. But her name's Nikola, named after Nikola Tesla.
Oh. Another Tesla fan, huh?
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Well, she's a fan. I don't care one way or the
other. Derek Law says, if I had a German Shepherd puppy, I would name him Max. Okay. Sci-Fi Nation. I have a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. Goofiest, most friendliest dog I ever had. Loves everything. That's what we have. They're called Chihuahuas, right? A Chihuahua Dachshund mix is a Chihuahua.
I would have called him a Choxin. More Star Trek sounding.
I don't think they like that.
How dare you? That's racist.
Shh. Quiet. Hey guys, so Mama. There you go, back there. Those are our dogs. Can you see them?
Hello, everybody.
And of course, then Pee Wee goes off downstairs. So it's just like, oh, really, guys? Really? So I put him in my office. This is where they've got a big bed here. So let me do the Picard maneuver with my shirt here. Yeah. So all right. So what else we got here? So,
your face is cut off there on the camera.
Oh yeah. I guess. Some would say that's an improvement.
That's what they call the Anthony Weiner frame.
Oh, ouch.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not a good look. Sean Lane says, "Hey, Alec, I rescued a dog while you were shooting Axanar. Awesome. Send us photos. How old is Mojo? Mojo is like 6 weeks. No, I'm sorry. No, he was 6 weeks when we got him. So he, or maybe it was 3 months when we got him. So he's like 5.5 months. Just, oh my God, he's adorable. And loves being around people, and he's So Shane, you're needing new shoelaces right now, and just stock up cabinet full of shoelaces, because all your shoelaces are gone as soon as he has his way with them. Finish Lady says, I love you guys. Please keep up the good job. Yes, thank you to JP. JP, tell us what's happening on the Egotastic Fun Time channel, because one of our favorite channels, we have it. There's a link, guys. You can write off our page. Tell us.
Well, I review things. I talk about Star Trek. I talk about the Orville quite a bit. I do live streams, and it's all from the point of view of an idiot, me, talking about the stuff that he loves, and sometimes talking about the stuff he doesn't love. And just having this egotastic community where we geek out about sci-fi and some other things as well. Right before we started this, I just put up my review of the new Zombieland Double Tap movie. I went and saw that last night, and I just got the review up right now. So that's there on Egotastic Fun Time if you want to see what I do. What I do to do.
Listen, everyone, JP has become a dear friend. We flew him in just so we could live stream the shoot.
Which was fun, by the way.
Dude, it was great having you. You were always live streaming. Those live streams are on his channel, on our channel. Please follow him because it's fun watching him. Oh, look at that. Up to 144 likes. Thank you, everyone. That is wonderful to see. That's like a new record, I think. And listen, everyone, once again, tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, we will be world premiering the new Axanar trailer. So here's another thing we need to talk about. The name, all right? So it was Prelude to Axanar, but it was really the 4 Years War, Episode 3, Prelude to Axanar. That was the official title of it. Everyone just calls it Prelude to Axanar. And we've been calling, just generically, what we're shooting now, Axanar, right? Because originally it was supposed to be the feature film Axanar. But if you haven't heard it, I will tell you that 2 episodes here, episodes 4 and 5, right? We've made that pretty clear, that continue the story. And if the question is, what happened to episode 1 and 2? We never made them. But episodes 4 and 5 of the 4 Years War. So this episode, dun dun dun, is going to be called the 4 Years War, Episode 4, The Gathering Storm.
Ooh.
Dun dun dun. It needs to be like, it needs to be like in Young Frankenstein, whenever they mention her Frau, what's her name? And the horse goes crazy.
I can't remember. Frau something, wasn't it? Anyway, I don't know if she was a Frau.
Frau something. Anyway, episode 4, the 4 Years War, episode 4, The Gathering Storm. That is the next episode. Now, we're not sure what we're going to do. I really want to premiere at least episode 4 at San Diego Comic-Con, if not both. Episode 4 and 5 together at San Diego Comic-Con. I think that would be awesome. But we may release episode 4 at San Diego Comic-Con and episode 5 at Star Trek Las Vegas. Although I don't think CBS would really be keen about that.
Or are they even showing up to Las Vegas?
CBS? I guess so.
I don't know if they're showing up. Do they even know about it?
By the way, for the 50th, Creation didn't hire me. They asked me to submit a proposal on how to spiff up Creation Con for the 50th anniversary Star Trek convention. And literally, John Van Sitters at CBS said to Creation, "You need to talk to Alec Peters." That's the relationship I had with CBS at one point, right? And 2 years later, they're suing me. But anyway, so if we release it in two parts, San Diego Comic-Con and either Star Trek Las Vegas or Dragon Con, because that's our hometown convention. So that's a possibility as well. So we will see. We're not quite sure what we're going to do yet. Thoughts, comments, criticisms?
I like the idea of doing part 4 at Comic-Con, which will get people excited and really blow up the next con that you show it at, the part 5 at. But also, I mean, there's benefits both ways.
Yeah, I know we've been thinking about it and talking. But listen, we got plenty of time. John Peter Presson Protospaltis says, Axanar, The Gathering Storm, very Churchill. I named the first chapter of my graphic novel that. Yes, well, that is taken directly from Winston Churchill's History of World War II. It's an homage to Winston Churchill because we're all big fans of Winston Churchill. Who isn't a big fan of Winston Churchill?
Hitler.
He's dead.
But he wasn't. At the time, he wasn't. But also, if you watch the History Channel, Hitler might have escaped in a time bubble.
Oh, really?
That's what the History Channel says.
And really? That's...
And that's when I stopped watching the History Channel.
That was in the Comedy Channel, was it? That was
no. It was a while ago. The History Channel started just getting into weird conspiracy stuff, like what ifs, and I was like, okay, I guess the History Channel is not really a channel about history anymore. I remember back when it first hit the scene, it was just the World War II channel. That's all History Channel was. And they're giving you real history documentaries. I think they stopped that a while ago. I guess they wanted some views, so they had to do what they had to do. But also, you mentioned possibly playing part 5 of the series at you mentioned Star Trek Las Vegas. Don't they have a new rule they just started where they don't allow Star Trek fan films anymore? Didn't they just start that this year?
They haven't allowed fan films for years.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Across the street, you can just premiere it across the street.
When we showed Prelude, we rented out another theater.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I kind of like the idea of getting a big buzz from Comic-Con and bringing that buzz to this the Ultimate Star Trek fan film, and having it bringing that buzz over to Las Vegas.
Yeah, listen, the Star Trek Las Vegas, first of all, we wouldn't be doing it at the convention, right? You do it at a theater nearby.
Yeah, but traveling is very easy in Vegas.
Yeah, and my attitude about whether we're going to do it at Star Trek Las Vegas, of course, a lot is timing. What do we get finished? Have we raised enough money? Blah, 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 blah. My attitude about Star Trek Las Vegas is, and I'll be honest with this with everyone. My attitude is like, CBS, leave me the hell alone. Let me make this, because all your fans want us to make it. 95% of your fans, right, want us to make it. They want to see Axanar, and we're not here to compete with you, right? We just want to make it. And so my attitude is, stop messing with me. I mean, stop promoting the haters and leaking information to the haters. And, how about we be dignified here, right? You let us make it, and we're not going to be assholes about it, right? But if they keep sending us stupid letters and leaking information to the haters to try and screw with us, then I'm going to be, well, you know what? We'll premiere it at Star Trek Las Vegas just to show you guys up. And I don't want to do that. I would rather have an amicable relationship. So a lot of this is in CBS's court, whether we show it at Star Trek Las Vegas or show it at Dragon Con or just show all of it at San Diego. I like the idea of showing one episode at San Diego and one at Dragon Con, because those are our big conventions. Those are the conventions we care the most about, right?
Well, you can also, because also with the Las Vegas thing, take CBS out of the equation. All the Star Trek fans are going to be there that weekend, so that's a
true.
perfect opportunity. But also, you can think of doing episode 4 at Comic Con, episode 5 at Las Vegas, and a double feature at Dragon Con.
Ooh. Yes, because Dragon Con deserves a double feature.
There you go.
Dragon Con is, you gotta come next year, JP. Just come.
I'll try.
Come and stay at our house. We'll put up the JP pool suite, and Mojo won't be here to steal your Uggs, and we'll have a good time.
Well, not my Uggs. I just
they were Crystal's Uggs. That's what.
Yeah. There you go. No, I'd love to do that. Hopefully, we'll be able to work that out. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
As for my channel, I need to go to cons. It's just they're not very many near me, unfortunately. So
they're right.
My
Don't you
fans
have a
want me
big
to
one
go to
in
cons.
Oklahoma City? Isn't there a big con in Oklahoma?
There's
doesn't
something,
Wizard
but-
do one? Wizard?
Yeah, but they do one in every city. It's like the little traveling mini version. When we get little cons, but there's the 4 or 5 big ones across the country. So.
Yeah, San Diego, New York.
Yeah, I need to go to a con where some Orville people show up for my channel.
Yeah.
That would work really well for me, I think. So hopefully we'll get that pretty soon, because we got some great little cons over here.
Yeah. Smoky Mirror says, "Oh my God, it's a CBS nightmare if more people lined up for Axanar panel than the Star Trek Discovery or Picard." Hey, listen, again, we don't see ourselves as competition for Discovery or Picard, and JP and I are on the same page. We are so excited about Picard.
Very excited.
Right?
And there's room for all of it.
Yes.
There's room for Axanar, and that's what needs to be understood on the corporate side of things. There's room for all of it, and a place for it, and a fandom.
Another person today was like, "I just don't get it. Why doesn't CBS get Axanar and put it on their website or put it on?" Yes. Why are you fighting this? Just fighting this groundswell of fans, which I think, the next few weeks is going to see a real significant groundswell of fans for Axanar once the trailer's out. And I think, listen, CBS, as I said, someone once said to me, why didn't CBS just buy you? I mean, everyone says that to me. And I say, buy us? We were going to give it to CBS. Even the general counsel of CBS was like, well, we'd never pay for Axanar. And his friend said to him, they don't want any money. They'll give it to you. Just let them make it, and they'll give it to you, and you'll make all the money. They didn't get that. He was like, what? They'd give it to us? And
because they're coming from their corporate mentality, because they would never do that. So they don't think anyone else would ever do that.
No, wait, what? Why is he making it if it's not for money? Because I love Star Trek, because I've wanted to tell the story for 30 years, because it's my passion. I mean, the mere fact that they tried to sue me into oblivion, couldn't do that, and I'm still here 3 years later spending my own money, just proves that they didn't know what the F they were doing. They thought I was in it. Oh, well, he's in it for the money. He's in it. And as much as I explained, their lawyers, I explained this to their lawyers. They didn't understand it. As a matter of fact, when we released the first set of financials to them, it was like, here's the money, 1.2 million from fans, and here's the 1.5 million we spent. And they were like, well, you spent money on tires and sushi. I was like, yeah, I spent my money. I didn't spend donor money. You understand? There was $200,000 that I spent of my money, which I can spend on whatever the hell I want. And they were like, well, I don't know. We don't understand that. Why do you spend your own money?
Because they wouldn't have spent their own money.
Yeah, I know you live a gray existence in that law field that makes you cynical and boring, but yeah, some of us love Star Trek so much that we I've literally spent $250,000 on this project. $250,000. That's more money than equity I have in my house. It's just, that's a lot of money. I look back and go, what the hell did I do? But they don't get it.
Mm-mm.
Which I'm real curious about your take on Seth Trek and the Orville and what's different.
Well, this Seth Trek, the Orville is using the format that Gene Roddenberry created. At least that's what they started off with. But I know for a fact that everything that Orville has done, that Seth MacFarlane has done, they had CBS in mind the whole time to make sure that anything they did is something that CBS, even if they wanted to complain about, would have no legal standing. So they've been very careful. But also, it all stems from, because Seth MacFarlane is a huge, hardcore Star Trek fan, just absolutely huge Star Trek fan. And when he heard CBS was going to be coming out with this new Star Trek, he's like, oh my God, what's CBS going to do with this thing that I love? So he approached them to be the head to be the showrunner, to create the new Star Trek for them. That way that he can make sure it's the Star Trek that that Gene Roddenberry had in mind. And he offered to be the showrunner and approached them, and they said, hell no, Seth MacFarlane, we don't want you. Get out of here. And he's like, damn, well, fine. I'll go make my own sci-fi utopian future that follows, the types of stories that used to be told in Star Trek. But then he added all this other great sci-fi on top of it as well, and these very original characters and this thing that Star Trek never really had, because it just wasn't something that was done back then. These characters are people just like us that are in these just ordinary people in these extraordinary situations. As opposed with Star Trek, everybody in Star Trek, every character is amazing. Everyone's extraordinary. They're better than we normal people. So he wanted to add that element as well. So now he has this amazing thing, and Star Trek fans, for the most part, have flocked to it. So I think when it comes to the CBS stuff, they're very, very careful, and they don't even mention Star Trek. Anywhere on the show, they've mentioned Star Wars, they've mentioned Doctor Who, they've mentioned some other shows. They don't mention Star Trek at all, even though it would be the most obvious one to mention. I think they know what they're doing, because they live in that world too, that studio world. So you got somebody that lives in that studio world that's like you, that cares, that loves something. So luckily he's got the best of both worlds, pardon the pun, where he's able to, do it the right way and still have the power to give CBS the middle finger if they so need that shoved into their faces.
Yeah. And again, that's not what it's about. It's like, people don't understand. I have no interest in revenge against CBS or annoying CBS or pissing them off. I have zero interest in that. That does nothing for me, right? The best revenge is making great Axanar.
That's it.
I want Axanar, and at the end, we are making Axanar. We are making it great. I mean, everyone who was on Prelude, Bing, Adam, Mark, all said what we shot 2 weeks ago is better than Prelude. And that was unsolicited. They said to me, look, it's better than Prelude. So when we release the next 2 episodes, and we have this trilogy, and it will stand on its own, and it will be beloved by fans, as Prelude is now, and that's my statement. That's my statement. We did this amazing project, and these assholes over the haters group think, oh well, you're never going to finish the project, because for 3 years they've been saying we were never going to shoot anything. Now we've shot great stuff, and they're like, oh well, you're never going to fit. In what world am I not going to finish Axanar? I'll sell this house and fund it myself if I have to. That's how important it is. It's the most important thing in my life, outside of my family and my health. That's my mom would make sure I said. So, so it's so important to do and to do it right. But it's not about CBS. It's not about Star Trek fans. It's not about proving anything. It is about the work. It's telling this story in a way that honors Star Trek and that fans, that I just care what the fans say. That's it. I'm not here to piss off CBS. Yeah, I wish they would just leave me alone and let me do it. But listen, the lawyers are trying to justify their, $700 an hour rate, I guess. Just leave me alone. Let me do it. I'm not here to piss anyone off. I'm not here to talk smack about Discovery. I'm excited about Picard. Maybe not about Section 31, but we'll see. And
That's a whole other stream for another day right there.
Oh my God. Well, what the thing that amazes me too is, I'm not the one CBS should be worried about. You've got YouTube channels where they just spew vitriol at Discovery like it's, I'm just like, whoa, it's not that bad. This is one of the things I like about you because I think you're an honest critic.
Well, I like to say some mean stuff about Discovery as long as I'm being funny. As long as it's things that are obviously like, the Klingons and stuff like that, little jokes and things like that. But also, I've never once gone after Discovery without also pointing out some successes, some good things that they've done. I've never been just one side or the other. I try to do both, but it's a lot more fun. There's a lot more to take from the series that I don't like, that's easy to make fun of or fun to make fun of. But also, I'm always going to point out, oh, this little moment here was nice. That little moment there. Hopefully, they'll do some more of that because this is what I think Star Trek should try to be. Blah blah blah, things like that. Yeah. So just be critical and try to have fun because like you said, the vitriol. There's just too much just saying. Not take Star Trek out of it. It's like some movie comes out. And you just hear the plot, and you're like, "That's the stupidest thing ever. That movie's gonna suck," and you haven't seen anything about it. Everything sounds stupid until you see it.
I guess this is me in general. I'm just, the geek outrage just wears on me. It's just, oh God, it's, all right. Because for me, movies rate from a 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the last time I saw a movie that worse than a 5. I'll give, like, Suicide Squad wasn't great. I'd give it maybe a 5, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking 5. But Will Smith was amazing. Margot Robbie was mind-blowingly great as Harley.
Yeah.
Right? There was stuff you could latch onto that you could like. So when people are like, oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. It raped my childhood. It's Zack Snyder is the devil himself. Oh, fucking, sorry. Trying to be PG. Just relax, people. Relax. It may not be your cup of tea. It doesn't mean you have to rage hate on it. It's, I don't know.
It's a part of it with some like comments like that. It's some people are trying to get attention, but also they're trying to say something in a way where people are going to react, and they think they're being incredibly funny and making this genius, super hateful comment when really it just comes off as pathetic. Give it a couple runs. Do a couple drafts, get that final line first, and then see if you can put out something that's horrible but also funny. If it's funny, people will get the joke and not just hear the hate. Though it's kind of tough in the everything is a text message world that we live in. It's hard to get.
I'm texting my dog sitter. So she lets me know. Yeah, I agree with you, JP. And part of the problem is everyone thinks their opinion is equally valid. And there's a great book by Tom Nichols, who's a commenter on NBC. He teaches at the Naval War College, and he's a conservative. So don't give me that. He's on MSNBC. He's a conservative, but his colleague is one of our advisors. Anyway, Tom McNichols is brilliant. And he wrote a book called The Death of Expertise. And in it, it's all about how this internet culture has taught us that our opinions are equally valid, which is a fallacy, right? And I find this all the time online. Someone thinks that because they have an opinion, I should respect that opinion as valid. No, that's your opinion. And we all know what opinions are like. And if you're not backing it up with facts, or if you're backing it up with emotion, and you know, if you say to me, look, Alec, I rate Suicide Squad a 2, and let me tell you why. And you go into in a discussion, I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I may not agree with you, but that's an interest. You have valid points. You thought
you can see where they're coming from.
I see where you're coming from. I think you're a little harsh, but okay, I respect that. But it's these people who just go raging on this and raging on that, and then, yeah, listen. Just because Facebook gives you the ability to spew everything that's in your mind doesn't mean you have to. I think, you know, I'd love to go off on some of the idiots that I have to deal with in my life on a daily basis. I would love to tell everyone what morons these idiots are. But is that what I want my feed clogged up with? Do I want, you know, as it is, I rage enough about politics. You know, do I need to rage about everything? I post puppy videos. That's how I balance things out. So anyway, that's my point, and I wish everyone would just rage a little less. You can rage against people who abuse animals. I'm totally in.
And you can rage against the machine.
You can always rage against the machine.
That's right.
Absolutely. So, but that's, you know, I'm beating a dead horse here, but that's my thoughts there on that. And someone just mentioned Earth Final Conflict. I guess we were talking about other Roddenberry inspired shows. Did you ever see Earth Final Conflict, or is that before your time?
I haven't seen it. I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen it.
Interesting show, which had a great first season, and then they replaced the star. It was weird.
Oh, they got Bewitched? They Darrened them?
No, worse. In Bewitched, they replaced the actor. In Earth Final Conflict, they replaced the character.
Oh, so they got Duke Boy.
Oh, he's
the
gone.
Duke Boy cousins came in.
Yeah, he's sent to Europe or whatever. I don't know what they did. And it was too bad because I think it was I want to say Richard Boone, but that's not. It was something. Was that his name? Anyway, the actor was really good. It was a fine actor. Now they replaced him with a good actor as well, but a totally different character, and that totally changed things. And then the fifth season was a freaking mess. It was a nightmare because they were trying to cut costs. But anyway, I liked Earth Final Conflict. It started out good, and yeah, it just kind of meandered after a while. It was too bad. But and it was one of those early Canadian shows too, when, you know, before, I kind of think that Battlestar Galactica was the tipping point. It was Stargate, Battlestar Galactica were the tipping point where Canadian sci-fi just took off. Farscape, another great show. Love Farscape. Got the Blu-rays over there. Tech War, yeah, there's another one. Interesting. That wasn't a bad show. What else do we have to talk about? As I'm just leaving the Mojo picture up just so everyone, probably people coming to the channel are like, why is there a dog picture on here? Because we're dog lovers. That's why.
It's a Star Trek dog.
Oh, there it was. Kevin Kilner. That was the actor's name. Thank you, Lee Sully. Lee Sully, who always has all the key information. Kevin Kilner. Yeah, it was a contract dispute. That's weird. Lex was way too weird. Scott says, can you please explain the new lawsuit CBS issue? That's bullshit, Scott. I'm hoping you just literally don't know. But there is no lawsuit against Axanar.
Yeah, somebody started a rumor the day you started filming. Someone sent me a message.
I wonder
saying,
who. Yeah.
Well, one of my fans sent me a thing that they saw online that that said, "Oh, CBS is suing Axanar again as they just start filming again." And I was like, "No, I think I haven't heard anything about that. Trust me, if something like that came up, people would be talking about it." So you know how trolls are. Trolls are putting out. Everyone could get photoshopped pretty pretty cheaply now, so they
Yeah,
can make little thumbnails and do whatever they want because they got nothing else to do, I guess, or they're not loved at home. I don't know.
I know. Some of these haters, you just wonder about what their upbringing was like, right? And it's like, wow, someone taught you that was acceptable behavior. You know, I'm telling one of the trolls right now, I was like, you have a wife and kids. Shouldn't you be worried more about them than me? Why are you spending so much time obsessing about me? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
The
know.
internet,
The
2019.
interwebs. The interwebs, yes. Okay, what's coming up on Egotastic Fun Time?
Egotastic Fun Time, like I said, I just put up the review of Zombieland Double Tap, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And then I have a couple of Orville topics coming up eventually. On Monday, I'm doing a review with Mark Zickery, who is the creator of Space Command. I'll
Yeah,
be interviewing
sure.
him. Uh, that'll be out next week at some point. And just a bunch of more Star Trek reviews. And I also put out a great video that I really liked that connects the new Picard series with the episode "The Measure of a Man," which is one of the best TNG episodes out there, and
Of
there's many to
course.
choose
Yep.
from.
Yep.
I put that out a few days ago, so a lot more of that coming up every single week.
Okay, so answer me this.
Hmm.
Why what is makes Egotastic Fun Time in your opinion? Because you know I love you. I love watching your videos. What makes it different than any number of other geek YouTube channels?
It's from my comedy background. I have a comedy background from Hollywood. I trained with Second City. I'm a
Wait, I didn't know
weirdo in my
this.
brain. Yeah, I trained with Second City for a couple of years. That was a great time. So I'm from that stock. So I'm putting all of that through, the things that I love, the sci-fi that I love, the weirdness that I love, all through that filter in my brain, and hopefully doing a nice, weird yet understandable show where it's just me, just like you see me here. I'm in front of my camera talking at you guys, throwing in some pictures and some videos and some skits every once in a while, talking about stuff that we love, sci-fi for the most part. And we try to have an egotastic fun time here.
And
So
you are the Orville Nation HQ.
I
Someone
am the
put it.
Orville guy. They call me the the Orville evangelist. I have a relationship with the production. We chat together. A lot of people consider me the head of, or the face of, the big bearded hairy face of the Orville fandom. So anything that happens in the Orville world, I am reporting on it, hopefully in a fun way, and leading fan discussions every week about the Orville and other sci-fi. We do live shows every week here as well, besides regular interviews and just fun, weird stuff that I put out.
Well, I love the fact that you are the man on YouTube when it comes to the Orville. Because
It's weird to me. I never thought that was going to be. I never thought anything like this would ever happen, but I guess it it just happened
you're
because I
the
didn't
man.
give up. Just kept showing up, and so people are like, "Well, that's the guy, I guess."
Yeah, it was you are the if they make a movie about you, they're going to call it A Fistful of Geloja.
Oh God, I don't want to see that visualized on screen.
Oh, well, all good. Oh, and yes, I just posted a link to the article I wrote about how CBS can't sue Axanar. Listen, folks, I even told Doomcock. I sent him a message and I sent him a link and I said, dude, you need better sources. You stop listening to the Axanar haters. Come to me. I'll tell you. And I said, they can't sue us. And the article explains it. I mean, we have a settlement agreement. If they feel we violated the settlement agreement, as they say they have done over a half dozen times over the past 3 years, they send a letter. I have 10 days to cure. If I don't cure and they still feel strongly, they can take me to arbitration. Half the time I say, okay, we'll correct that. Minor stuff. Half the time I say, no, we're not correcting that because you're wrong. They've never taken me to arbitration. My goal is to live by the spirit of the settlement agreement. That's what we do. So, if someone says someone's suing Zaxa, bullshit, dude. And I'm a lawyer. I keep saying it. I'm a lawyer. I'm a lawyer by training. I went to law school at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Go Heels. And then, well, that's my USC background. And then passed the bar, got sworn in to the court, and I was like, I'm out. And I went and coached volleyball. So the law degree is a great degree to have. It helped me in the lawsuit with CBS and Paramount, and it helps me adhere to the settlement agreement when they say, you're raising money for the studio in violation of the settlement agreement. My answer is the studio was not part of the settlement agreement. The studio is a separate corporation. It has nothing to do with Axanar. It's merely, that corporation bought the sets from Axanar Productions. It's totally legal. So, sorry, I disagree. They could take me to arbitration if they felt strongly about it. Do you think CBS wants to be in arbitration with its fans while it's pushing Picard and Discovery? Do they think they want those headlines again? Because they had those headlines all year for the 50th year of Star Trek. And it was not a good look. And it did not suit them well. So anyway, okay, there you are. I'm just ranting and raving. But listen, Doomcock, I know he was an Axanar fan at one point. But, listen, there's a circle of YouTubers, and we got into it with one of them. If they want to go after CBS, God bless them. If they don't want to support Axanar, God bless them. No one's saying anyone has to do anything. We're here for another 8 months to make Axanar and move on to our next project, which everyone I've spoken to about our next project is insanely excited about.
Star Wars fan film.
Boy, there's some good ones, man.
Right? There is a deep well of Star Wars stories that have never seen the light of day when it comes to any of the big screen or the small screen.
Yeah, I think you could absolutely do some great stuff with Star Wars. The challenge is financing it. That's the big challenge, because they don't want you crowdfunding it. So which is okay.
But you've proven what you can do. You don't need another IP at this point. You can create your own stuff now.
Listen, it would be silly for us to go do Star Wars, or even to stay doing a Star Trek fan film, right? We want to listen. We have people that want to make money too. I hate to say this, but enough of giving my time for free to fandom. After Axanar, I'm kind of over that. I mean, I love it, but we all have to make a living, and at some point I got to start making money. I just can't keep spending money.
Well, if you really wanted to, you could just make Gene Roddenberry fan films, that his style of sci-fi, but it's your own original thing. Then you don't have to, you can just do your own thing, and you're just like, well, here's a checklist of what Gene Roddenberry would consider, something that he would want to pursue. And you just follow that checklist and then do what you want around that. And you can be making something that Star Trek fans and sci-fi fans would absolutely love, that has no connections to anything else.
Well, I think you hit it on the head, right? I'm just looking and saying my dog sitter left. Okay. And we're going long. This is a long episode because we have 170 people watching. Thank you so much for watching this episode as JP and I just ramble. Well, I ramble. JP makes sense. And Sturm von Alk, which is Paul Osborne, our good friend and Senior Director of Parking Services at Aries Studios. He says, Orville fan film.
Oh, that would be good. They're coming. People are getting set up to do those. And so far, Seth MacFarlane is all for them. He says he cannot wait to see them. He says he can't speak for whatever Disney might do. Disney hasn't given an opinion that we know of, but he says he can't wait to see what fan films are coming down the line, because he started as a fan film maker. Now, of course, there's the rules that make sense, like, oh, you can't make profit from it,
Right,
things
sure,
like
sure.
that. That all makes sense. But otherwise, they're really looking forward to seeing some Orville fan films.
The first thing that comes across my mind about it, as I'm thinking about Orville fan films, is to go in the opposite direction of the Orville, right? You go like the way that Power Rangers fan film was, dark and gritty,
You could
right?
do that with the Orville. If you go into that other parallel universe from the season 2 finale, which they're not using anymore,
Yeah,
people want that too. There's fans that are like, oh God, I would love to see some more stories in that
yeah.
that
I think
timeline,
there's, yeah. I don't know. You and I
which is
need to
Star
talk
Wars.
about that, JP. Maybe you and I will do a Orville fan film. Oh, what am I
Yeah,
doing? I gotta make money.
I could give you some insight into little
I don't want to.
tidbits.
I don't want to do free stuff anymore.
Actually, that's true too.
Right?
Your
Let's.
next project should be an independent thing, and then you can worry about
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
going back. Yeah,
once I'm a gazillionaire, then I can, make a fan film and not worry
yeah,
about raising money.
yeah.
Just
I was-
spend money. Okay, well, there's another. Oh, look at the trolls are out. That's so sweet.
Is it after midnight?
Yeah.
No, man, they're out early.
So someone smoking mirror says, "Hey, Alec, did Anas Abbas ever
Anas Abdeen?
get in touch with you about investment? He's the creator of the tardigrades." No, I never heard from him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, and that's just not some investment. I have no money to invest in Axanar anymore, let alone someone else's property. So yeah. Is it?
Oh,
It's
by the
up to
way,
Disney.
Derek Law, I don't know what Megaforce is. I know what a Megazord is, but I don't know what Megaforce is.
Megaforce. Oh,
You know that one?
where's that? Megaforce is that great, like early '80s, totally cheesy. That was Barry Bostwick, Michael. What was his name? You can see him, Michael something, and Persis Kambata. Yeah,
Michael
that was
Ironside?
no. Michael. I want to say it's not Michael Bean. It's Michael. It's not Michael Paré. It's Michael Beck. And it is a great cheesy movie. It's so bad it's good.
I love, especially from the 80s, so bad it's good movies. I mean, that's my jam.
Oh, dude, you Megaforce, dude, you gotta find it.
I will then. That sounds
Yeah,
great.
yeah. So, yeah, Megaforce. What was the other cheesy '80s movie we were just talking about? Oh, Best of the Best.
Oh,
Yes,
Best of the Best. Yeah, you were talking
I
about Best of the
love that
Best.
movie. Yeah. So, mass cartoon from the '80s might have something to do with that. Megaforce, low budget GI Joe type movie. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So I can't believe that Annis lost that lawsuit, the tardigrade law. I was kind of
Well,
shocked.
he's appealing. He's appealing.
Yeah, good for
Uh,
him.
yeah, the fans put together a GoFundMe to raise funds so he could do the appeal, and I think they got it, or they're just about got it. They'll definitely
Oh,
get it because it was blowing up the second that it got put up online. So he's going to be doing the appeal
interesting. All right, let's
because
see.
there is something there with his claims, with some of the, in my opinion. Now, of course, I think investigation and all that stuff should find out the truth. There's just some weird coincidences between his game and the first season of Discovery. I mean, and I'm even of the opinion it might not be something that CBS is even aware of. It's just one of the little writers came up, heard an idea that someone else said, and then incorporated it. There could be all kinds of different things, but there's very specific similarities between some of the characters and situations in Discovery and his game. So I think they should just find out the truth.
Yep. Yeah. Kelly Road says, "What if fans want to make Axanar universe-based fan films? Go for it. That's what Jonathan Lane is doing."
Interlude.
Yep. Yeah. Oh wow. The GoFundMe for Annis is just $900 shy of reaching their goal of 20,000.
There you go.
Wow, that's pretty good. Okay. So what are your guys' thoughts on the Picard show coming? I like the premise, but don't trust after Discovery. Your thoughts, JP?
I absolutely love the premise, and I love everything I've seen on screen so far. But of course, we have to be cautiously optimistic with this because we know CBS might just get a little too much on the corporate studio side of things and start throwing ideas that. But hopefully, I'm hoping that Michael Chabon has been left to his devices. They said, "Hey, we screwed up on Discovery. We believe in you. Go do your thing, you and Patrick Stewart." And hopefully, they come up with something that lives up to at least the idea that we've been given so far. So far, I think the idea is great. Now, Michael Chabon, he wrote the recent Short Trek Q&A, which I liked the writing of the episode, but I thought it was absolutely horrible for Spock. They ruined Spock again. That not writing Spock correctly, but the actual writing was good. It was just wrong for Spock. So, but also it's a short trek, a little 15-minute thing, and they spend a lot of time in the short treks just showing you establishing shots to fill the time, and then they give you about 5 minutes worth of story. So we shall see. When you have Patrick Stewart there, when you bring him in and he agrees to do something that he originally thought he did not want to do for all these years, and he agrees to it because he believes in the idea, you have to live up to that. You do not want the wrath of Sir Pat Stew upon your doorstep, I should think. Because he's got Ian McKellen might come in, and they might double team on you and take you down.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm looking forward to Picard. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because this is where they should have set Discovery, right?
Yeah,
it should have been set at this time there, because then.
Well, I've been telling people that Discovery season 3, which is 930 years in the future, I'm like, oh, that should have been where they started off in season 1. Right there, because this new story that they have, what it looks like, I can't speak for the writing yet because we haven't seen it. I don't like the writing much in the first 2 seasons, even though there's a couple of high points. The story, from what it sounds like, would have been a great way to start off some new Star Trek that doesn't interfere with any of the previous Star Trek and does this new format that they're doing. Season 3, if you erase season 1 and 2, sounds like it could have been really good. But now it has to deal with the baggage that's in the back of people's minds that were turned off by season 1 and season 2. I can turn it off and just grade it on what it's currently doing, but most people aren't going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just. Again, we're not haters, and we're excited about Picard. See where they're taking it. See, it's interesting. The side-by-side comparison of Data was a little made me cringe a little bit.
Yeah, that one, no matter how great it is, that's always going to be weird. It seems like they didn't want to spend the money to de-age him.
Yeah.
Even though that technology is so good nowadays.
It's so good.
Look what they did with Anthony Hopkins in Westworld. Absolutely stunning how they de-aged him. It seems like they didn't want to do that. But also, I'm like, you know what? It's Data. It's Brent Spiner. I'm just going to put on some Android-colored glasses when I watch it, and I'll just get over it as long as the story's good. But it is a little cringy.
Yeah, I was just a little surprised because I think they could do better.
Yeah. Well, there's a fan that actually took the image from the new trailer of Data and ran it through the little de-aging program, and he looked perfect.
Really? I did not see this.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. Somebody threw it up. I'm like, oh my god, that looks great, and it's the same exact scene, same frame. They just put the little de-aging thing on it, and it looked great. And I'm like, oh no, they totally could have done it. Well, you know what? Technically, if they wanted to, they could still do that. It doesn't premiere until the January 23rd, so we saw the trailer, but they could still go in and punch it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I just thought it was bad. I thought the hair was bad.
The hair was the worst part.
Right? That was really. It's like, do they not have photos that they compare and just, I don't know.
It's like they just from Mindom to hell
Oh, oh, that was bad. Yeah, right.
Yeah, his hair just looked jet black, and I'm like, even Data's hair in
Yeah,
the show was just dark brown.
right, right. I know. All right. Oh, so he wants me to remind you all. Axanar Crew T-shirts, small,
Oh,
medium, large, extra large. If you
Axa
guys
Crew.
want $25 postpaid, donate at axanarproductions.com. That's where we are. That's where we are. That's where you can send us some money, and money goes to the production, and we'll ship you off one of our crew T-shirts while supplies last. All right, so we probably should wrap it up because we've been blabbing for like 2 hours.
Blab.
But all good blabbage.
Blabalon 5.
Where no man has blabbed before. So what do you got? Oh, by the way, any astute person who might have seen behind me, I should just. Have you seen that? See that poster? Can you see that poster behind me? That is, yeah, that's a one of a kind. Can you see that one? That's Empire of the Sun. It was at a. It was a piece of art at a gallery showing in Burbank. A friend of mine's store, Creature Features, and my good friend Jack Morsick had helped curate this exhibit. It was like the 30th anniversary of Ablin. So anyway, I love that.
I used to work in Burbank.
Did you? Where'd you work?
I worked at a place called Base Productions. As a reality, they shot reality shows like sports science and things like that, and I would do transcriptions of all the footage that came in from the shoots.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Not really.
Not as
But Jay
interesting as
Leno
it sounds.
Jay Leno's car shop was right next door, so sometimes Jay
Really?
Leno would be driving by a new weird car every day.
Well, he's got quite the collection.
Yeah,
Quite the
yeah.
collection. So very cool. All right, my friend. Well, we're going to wrap this up. We want to say thank you to all of our fans. JP B5 deserves better jokes than that. Oh, come on. We do it out of love. That's out of love.
That's right. It was
Right?
actually a joke on Blabs, not a joke on
Right.
Lawn 5. Baby Lawn 5. That's a Zombieland double tap joke.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh yeah, and Troy Light says nice, but I prefer Tears of the Sun. I love Tears of the Sun. I really like that movie. It's good, and I think Bruce Willis is as good as it. He's not just Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was on the Orville in season 2.
What?
He played a giant flower alien.
No way.
That was Bruce Willis.
Oh my God. All right, that's great. That's you. Wow, that's amazing trivia. Wow. Okay, good for Bruce.
Yeah, good for the Orville.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, yeah. So, but you couldn't recognize it was Bruce.
No, but once you realize it's him, you're like, oh my God, how did I not recognize his voice?
You're gonna have to send me a screen cap.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
I'll show you.
Listen, 175 people. Thank you for watching. Everyone, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Please subscribe. And also, yes, that's really important that everyone subscribe. And please make sure you go through Ayers Digital. If you haven't gone through Ayers Digital already, or signed up for our newsletter, please sign up for our newsletter. The link is on our webpage. Here, I'm going to give you the Aries Digital. Or if you're a donor, go through Aries Digital. If you're not a donor, hey, how about signing up for our newsletter and get our newsletter? This is going to be my new reason for living. I don't know how to say that in French. Raison d'être or something like that. I don't know. I don't take
Reason for living.
There you go. Yes. So go to our website, sign up for our newsletter, please. Sign up for. Here's our newsletter. Here's our newsletter sign up. If you are not, and subscribe, hit the subscribe button, please. Hit the like button. Make sure you're ring the bell icon to get our notifications. Get all that stuff. We thank you, Val, as always. Yeah, we got okay, and we're gonna have more stuff on. Listen, and also support our Patreon. It is patreon.com/Aries Studios. please go and support our Patreon. That's what supports the studio. That's how we, get to not worry about the rent every month. Still worrying about the rent because we still need another good $1,800 a month. But we're on our way. We're at about $2,200 a month. So thank you very much. Okay, so JP, as always, Jalo, Jalong, and prosper.
Jalo, Jalong, and prosper. And I hope all your times are Axanar times.
Ooh, and I hope all your times are egotastic fun times.
They
we'll
are.
See you tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern. And if Bing doesn't have the trailer ready by now, I'm sending out the lynch mob. But no, he will, because he's awesome. So he will have that tomorrow. And we will enjoy it and see some great stuff from Axanar, The Gathering Storm, The 4 Years War, Episode 4. So until then, thank you. Thank you to all our donors. Thank you to all our patrons on Patreon. Thank you to all our fans that have been watching. We will see you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Thank you so much. Thank you to you, JP, for coming out and spending some time sharing your thoughts with us. We love you as always.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, everyone. You guys take care. We love you.
Bye-bye.